This is unprecedented. Unacceptable.
The Hierarch is dead, Commander.
His murderer was within our grasp. If you had not withdrawn our phantoms...
Are you questioning my decision?
No, Holy One. I only wish to express my concern that the brutes...
Recommissioning the Guard was a radical step. But recent events have made it abundantly clear that the elites can no longer guarantee our safety.
I shall relay your decision to the Council.
Politics, how tiresome. Do you know, Arbiter, the elites have threatened to resign, to quit the High Council, because of this exchange of hats?
We have always been your protectors.
These are trying times for all of us.
Even as the humans' annihilation filled us with satisfaction, the loss of one of the sacred rings racked our hearts with grief.
Putting aside our sorrow, we renewed our faith in the prophecy that other rings would be found, and see how our faith has been rewarded.
Halo, its divine wind will rush through the stars, propelling all who are worthy along the path to salvation.
But how to start this process? For ages we searched for one who might unlock the secrets of the rings. An oracle. And with your help we found it.
With appropriate humility, we plied the Oracle with questions, and it, with clarity and grace, has shown us the key.
You will journey to the surface of the ring and retrieve this sacred icon. With it, we shall fulfill our promise.
Salvation for all.
And begin the great journey.
Once the shield is down, we will head straight to the library. I do not wish to keep the Hierarchs waiting. The human that killed the Prophet of Regret. Who was it? Who do you think? The demon is here? Why? Looking for a little payback? Retrieving the icon is my only concern. Of course.
What is up, my good people? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Kyle, and today we are continuing Halo 2 on Legendary without dying, of course. Today's level is Sacred Icon, and we are playing as the Arbiter again. And this level, the only reason I really have trouble with this level is because of the Flood. I'm not really good at fighting the Flood, especially in Halo 2. They're very unforgiving. But we saw that a little bit on Oracle. And now we're experiencing it again on this level. So it's basically Sentinels and the Flood on this level. Those are the enemies. This first part, I mean, you can just run through it, basically. That's what I'm doing. Sorry. No, but yeah, this level, I mean, it's not a long level by any means. The only hard part of this level really is the end. And then, you know, I mean, there's a lot of close quarter stuff with the Flood, which is never fun because there's a lot of bullshit that happens when you play against the Flood. But anyway, this first part, just rushing through it, there's no need to stick around and take your time. And I was able to experiment a little bit with this level because I did die at a few parts. A couple times, had to do this over and over, and I noticed that the plasma rifle or the plasma pistol, any plasma guns, were really effective in this level, at least for the first part. So basically, this part, you just have to take out the sentinels and the big dude. You don't even have to take him out. You could just start the elevator thing, but I'll take him out just because it's easier that way. No need to take any risks. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but those were my lovely dogs barking. So glad they got featured on the channel. Another good weapon against the sentinels is the actual sentinel beam. Pretty effective, but I don't know, the plasma rifle is just really good. Like, it just takes them out super quick. And then, yeah, usually try to take them out with grenades, but I mean, I don't know. It's kind of unpredictable with the big, I don't know what you call that thing. One rocket almost took my whole shield down. There we go. And then this level, like a lot of the Halo 2 anniversary levels, I mean, aesthetically it just looks really nice. Especially this outdoor part where you're just hovering through to the next section. But after this, it's basically just dealing with the flood for most of the level. I'd probably say that of all the Halo 2 levels, this one and Quarantine Zone, the one that follows, are probably my two least favorite levels of this campaign. I don't really like this level personally, just because, I don't know, mostly because of the flood, and then I feel like it's just not really an exciting level. Oh yeah, there's a weird glitch where I dropped my gun and then it's just gone. I don't know where it went. It fell through the floor. So, a little upset about that, but whatever. The carbine's pretty effective against these sentinels too. That and grenades, and then I gotta watch out for the flood because they're coming in too. But once that thing gets blown up, you can basically move on to the next part, like right away. It's pretty great. So that's what I'm doing, because there's no point in hanging around in that fucking death trap. You just gotta keep going in this level. That's what I've sort of learned through trial and error. Just don't stop, just keep going. The only time you should stop is when you're fighting the flood close quarters, because you gotta take your time with it. Make sure none of them have a fucking shotgun before you just charge in there. So yeah, this part, I grabbed a shotgun, because it's not that effective against the flood in this game, to be honest, but it's still effective. I always liked the inclusion of the Marines in this level. You don't actually really see them besides that, but it's kind of cool to see like how the two stories are coming together. The UNSC's story and Master Chief's story, and then the Arbiter's story. They kind of collide here. And it's sort of like the start of this alliance between the Arbiter and the Marines, or Sergeant Johnson, I should say, and Miranda Keyes and all that. But you know, gotta get through this bullshit first, right? So yeah, when I was practicing this level, the places that I died, most of them were right here. Not right here specifically, but in this general, you know, spot where there's just a lot of flood around every corner. Because they'll sneak up on you. So basically, what I do on this part is, like I said, take my time, and then if I get overwhelmed for any reason, just turn the corner. And I almost died right there. That was really, really close. But yeah, because every time you hit a checkpoint moving forward, there's going to be a new wave of the flood that's going to spawn in. So it's important that you just kind of take your time and don't get overwhelmed with, you know, the amount of flood that might spawn in. And plus the sentinels, they only spawn at this part pretty much, but they're still a pain in the ass like always. One sentinel just give me a hard time there. Alright, there we go. There's a couple of infection forms on the map, but they're not a big deal. They are kind of a big deal because they'll infect some of the flood behind me that are on the ground like this fucker. And don't want flood coming out behind me. That's the one shitty part about this level. They don't give you an energy sword, like, at all until later in the level, and it's so easy to take out the flood with the energy sword, because when you kill them with it, they just die. And they die, of course, but then they like, you know, explode or whatever. And they can't. The infection forms can't get them back. I've learned don't try and flank them, just run backwards. That's all you gotta do, just run backwards. If you ever feel like you're getting overwhelmed with too many enemies at once, just run backwards. I was trying to just destroy all the bodies, but they just kept coming in. These infection forms just kept coming in. And then these fat ones are just kind of annoying. They don't really do much in this game at all. They're kind of useless. Not that they're any use to you, but to the enemies. Next wave coming in, I think. Yeah, it looks like it. That was a good toss. A couple of them coming up. Make sure none of them have a shotgun. That's the most important thing. Because they'll get you real quick, and that's risky. Woo! Oh god. I'm scared for myself right now. Am I gonna die? I don't know. I don't, but you know. Still, sometimes I can't believe how lucky I get sometimes. Like, I feel like I got really lucky there. Because that one flood that came jumping at the same time that I was trying to jump down. Really slowed me down, and then the fatty boys slowed me down too. But yeah, I made it out of that. I'm pretty impressed. That was good. That was good. That was a good run. So yeah, I mean, you see how you can just kind of walk by them in this game. Like in Halo 1, like it was kind of the same concept. They're slow enough where you can kind of just get around them, but they were quicker than this. You know, you could get screwed by a couple of those guys walking up to you. And I think their blast radius was more than in Halo 2. But anyway. So now this part, I try to run through it because there's really no point in me trying to fight every single enemy here. So I'm just gonna wait here for a minute, let them sort of fight it out, and then eventually, once I hit the checkpoint, these guys spawn in here. I'm going to run backwards, go back to my hiding spot, let them fight it out, get distracted, wait for my invisibility to come back, and then I'll make my move moving forward. But it's difficult because the invisibility is a really small window, and especially on Legendary. I think the easier the difficulty is, the longer your invisibility lasts. Which makes sense, but on Legendary it's just ridiculous. It's so crazy how quick it goes down. And then how long it takes for it to come back, too. I mean, it's not that long, but it's still... I mean, in a desperate situation, it feels like forever. But now it looks like I'm making my move. And it wasn't exactly the best time to make it, but I'm still going for it. And then there's more flood over here, so I'm kind of like thinking, do I run? Do I hide? Do I run? But of course I'm going to run, because there's no point in me trying to hide and get cornered. And then I'm just going to keep going. Here we go. Now this part's hard. Besides the ending, this part's kind of difficult because it is close quarters, and there's a lot of flood down here. I think they did a great job with like the atmosphere of this part of the level, because there's just all the flood. I don't even know what you call it. It's like this mist, this green mist, kind of just in the room, and it just, I don't know, it really sets the mood of like, oh fuck, this is kind of scary down here. But yeah, it's scary to move forward because there's a lot of chances for me to die down here. But I think I do a pretty good job of staying in the shadows, making my move, my way forward, being very methodical about it. Wait for my invisibility to come back over and over again. Checking my radar, making sure none of the red dots are sneaking up on me, which they kind of are right now. Oh man. Once you get in these hallways, you're kind of safe for a minute until you get to the next part, the next room, and then they'll just kind of come in. Yeah, I'm just going to keep running. No need to bother fighting those things. And then this is where the Sentinels and the Flood fight. They fight in this room, and then obviously if they see you, they're both going to turn their attention to you because that's how it works. And luckily they didn't actually shoot me while I had my invisibility. I feel like I used it a little late, but I was trying to save as much as I could. Wait till the last second before I used it. This one Flood followed me to the next room, Jesus. Okay, so this part, I'm just running for the door. Fuck it. Just keep going. Don't even bother trying to fight anyone. And I mean, we're making pretty good time on this level. It's not a long level by any means, but we got probably another couple minutes before it's over. Now this part, not this room, but the next room, they kind of try to preview it a little bit. I don't know what I was doing on the edge, but something I never noticed is the phantom waits down there. That's kind of cool. But yeah, I think the artwork here is great. Even the old graphics, I mean, it looks cool in the old graphics too. But what was I saying? Yeah, that room I was just in kind of gives you like a preview of what's gonna happen in the next room, because it's literally the same room, but all the Flood, they're all alive down there, and it's all the elite infection forms. So they have more shields and harder to kill. So this part is really difficult, to say the least. It's just really scary because there's a lot of Flood down here, and there's nowhere to hide once you jump down. I mean, you can try and hide, but it's difficult. And then all the infection forms come piling in too, so it's like, even if you kill some of the Flood, the infection forms are just going to bring them back to life, just like that guy. And it's like, what can I do, you know? Kill him, but then another one's going to come up and try and get him back alive. Yep, just like that. So I think this goes on for a minute or two. Not a minute, but, you know, a little bit. I think at this point I was just getting a little upset, because it's like, why the fuck does this keep happening? Like, stop it. But watching it now, it's kind of useless to just be like, why do I keep shooting that one Flood? I should just... And yeah, because then more of them pour in, and it's like, what the fuck? I can't do anything about that. Finally, that flood guy blew up, so no one can infect him anymore. But yeah, there's a shit ton of them down here. It doesn't look like it right now, but they're down there. And that guy's coming back alive, of course. Yeah, so this part, I mean, there's a couple different ways to do it. The way that I'm doing it is a little risky, but I mean, I think I do a pretty good job. Basically, just gotta keep going. Use my invisibility, very strategic, and jump down this thing, and that's it. We're home free from here, pretty much. I mean, yeah, there's one more big part of this level, but it's not too bad, actually. I would consider the part that we were just in a little bit harder than this part at the end, just because you can get some bad luck on that room. But this outdoor section is not too bad. It's just takes a while. But luckily you get some friends in this part. Some elites spawn in, and then you got the commander who's going to be in the next section. And that one has a rocket launcher though, so that's scary. Yeah. I don't know how he didn't shoot any rockets besides the one that he shot at the wall there at the end. Yeah, it's pretty crazy how easily the elites go down against the Flood in this game. They're not very smart. I love elites, don't get me wrong, but they're not very smart with their with how they fight the Flood.
We must do what we can against the Flood.
There we go. Giving an elite a shotgun seems kind of weird, but it is what it is. So yeah, this part, don't charge the tunnel, don't go in near there, because there's going to be a bunch of Flood spawning in, and you got to stay back, because if you get surrounded, you're just going to die. Plain and simple. I'm almost out of ammo too, that's not good. I was almost out of ammo for the battle rifle, but now it's like I don't have anything. But the good thing is my elites have pretty good guns against the Flood right now. One of them's got a shotgun, the other two have headshot weapons, so precision weapons. So we should be good. Although I think they die, if I remember correctly. And I think I'm trying to scavenge some ammo, but I don't think I get lucky at all. There's no Flood using carbines in this level really. Yeah, and then kind of forgot about the next wave, so keeping my distance. Maybe one of my elites will die. Oh, he has a carbine, look at him. He just died. That's too bad. I think 2 elites died. But hey, I got all the ammo I need now. Okay, so this part. Not difficult, but it's tedious. It's just kind of, I don't know. It takes a while. Because there's, I don't know how many waves, but there's a lot of waves of the Flood coming into this section. And you can't really beat the level until all the waves are dead. And the commander's here with you, so it's not like you have to do all the work. But I will admit the AI in this game, especially for someone like the commander, he's not very smart. Not very skilled. The only positive thing about him is that he is invincible. So hitting him won't do anything to him. And no matter how many times an enemy shoots at him, he's not going to die. So there's that. But the worst part is they all get on the turrets, which isn't a good idea. I mean, against the Flood, it's not very effective. It's just not going to work. So I don't think it's now, but eventually I destroy the turrets so that the elites can't use them, because they always just seem to go on the turrets. But it's not worth it. They don't do much damage against the Flood. I think the only damage those turrets do against anyone is if they're shooting at you. this one elite just got fucking demolished by that one flood. He's already halfway dead. I mean, come on. The AI in this game frustrates me. Like your allies, I should say. Because, I mean, it's just like, they don't know how to fight against certain enemies, and the flood is one of those, that enemy. And then right there, wow, that was scary. I think my life probably flashed before my eyes. And right there, because now my shield's down and I'm out in the open. But I'm okay. But yeah, that was fucked, man. I could have died right there. I bet if I had even if one person had shot me once, I probably would have been dead after that hit. And I'm realizing that the flood is actually on that turret. And my shield's almost down again. I think all the elites are dead now except for the commander. Yeah, he's just on the turret like a fucking idiot. I'm trying to get him off the turret so that he can just fight with his sword, because that's much more effective. There we go. And it's destroyed. Nice. So basically, just hide in this cave. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to let the commander do his thing. I'll kill a few of them just to keep the level moving, you know? But, I mean, at this point, I mean, there's really no point in me trying to risk my life. Especially at the very end, like this, you know? But it should be almost over, I think. We're pretty close probably by now. I don't know, like I said, don't know how many waves there are, but, I mean, it's quite a lot, but, you know, it goes by pretty quick, I guess. I mean, we're only at 23 minutes in total, so it's not that long of a level. But yeah, every time you hear a screech, that means another wave's coming. And there's another rocket launcher flood. This time I didn't shoot. Although this was super risky because A, didn't know where he ran off to. There he is. And I'm thinking, oh fuck, he's going to shoot me right now. And surprisingly, he didn't shoot me. But I'm still over here, kind of out in the open, feeling vulnerable. Got to figure out where he is. There he is. Jump down, and you got him. And the weird thing about that is, even though I was invisible, it looked like he was looking right at me. Like, I feel like the AI, like, they register, they know that you're there, but they don't actually attack you when you're invisible. I don't know. It's weird. But, like, that was a weird thing, of the fact that he was just looking at me as I was jumping down. They must be just programmed to not shoot at people that are in active camouflage, but they can still see you. I don't fucking know. I'm no gaming, what do you call it? Engineer. Not engineer. Creator. Whatever the fuck. And there's the Phantom, so that should be the end of the level any second now. At least that's what the gaming Kyle is thinking. Like, hey, shouldn't this level be ending by now? Come on. Come on. Come on. Still not ending. Come on. Any second now. But then I start running around thinking maybe there's another enemy out there that just isn't dead. But there we go. So yeah, that was Sacred Icon. Pretty whatever level in my opinion. But probably check our summary and our stats here in a second. But yeah, I mean, this one and Quarantine Zone, like I said, not particularly my favorite levels, but still enjoyable. I mean, it's not like they're bad levels. I just personally don't prefer the Flood in Halo 2. They're just not that fun to fight against. So anyway, 80 kills, 0 deaths, Sacred Icon. We can check that one off the list. Join me next time for Quarantine Zone. It's going to be a very, very quick video because I actually speedrun that level because it's just the best way to do it on Legendary. But anyway, join me for that, and we will see you in the next one.